Hello everyone. Today I'll be showing you how I was able to break into a hack the box. It was an easy box called Openadmin. So let's get started. First thing I'd like to do is go ahead and scan the host. With this, I like to just scan for open ports first before I start scanning for details, just because it's significantly faster. Okay. There we go. So once that scan completes, the scan for the details. Let's add verbosity, service version, scripts, and let's do this. Normally I would scan output to a file, but it's only 2 ports, so I just leave this open. I know we have secure shell and the web server, so we'll be focusing on the web server to gain access. Let's go ahead and open the web server here. So you see right here we have the default Apache page. So I'm going to fuzz this and see if I can get some other pages to show up here, or what other pages this Apache server is currently running. So use fuzz faster, U for the URL, and W for the word list. I use the famous sec list. See, discovery, web content, and I'm going to use the RAF small list. IC to remove comments, or I'm sorry, to ignore comments, and I'm gonna give it 80 threads. I like to expand this out because if you don't, it will just keep generating a bunch of results that are not accurate. Okay, so here we go. We have a music artwork server status. So let's take a look at the music. So here in the music we have the music index page, about, points to nothing, playlist. You have playlist, category, blog, HTML pages, blog, everything points to blog here, news points to blog here. Let's see, playlists. So not finding really any links. However, what we can do is pipe this through grep, or pipe the return of the curl command through grep, just to get a list of links. Sometimes it's easier to find actual links. As you can see, like these point to cascading style sheets, index, but there's a lot of these empty links point to nothing. But the interesting link is this one. It goes to the previous directory and to an ONA link. So, and this is the login button right here. So we'll go ahead and click that. Oh, that seems to, oh, because if you're in music and playlist.html, it doesn't actually point to it. So let's go home and let's click on that link now. As you can see, now this link is active on that page, on the main page. Alright, so now it looks like we have landed into this OpenAdmin dashboard. With that, if you notice, there's a version listed here. First thing I like to do if I find any page or when I'm trying to gain access to anything, if there's a version displayed, I like to Google that. Let's see, did I copy that? OpenAdmin. So looking at this version, I can already see there's an exploit here on exploit database, and there's one on the GitHub. I'd like to check out the one on the GitHub. Here, I don't know if you see that. Here we have proof of concept. Looks like it's Python 3, the script option, and the URL. The options are you can check to see if it's vulnerable, or you can exploit it. Checking it will obviously let you know if it's vulnerable, and running it will return a shell. So let's go ahead and use this to see if we can gain access to this. So we'll just use this here. Okay. Git clone. Let's shrink this for now. Okay, and Python 3 ONA RCE. Let's check, and we'll give it the link ONA. So it returns that it's vulnerable. So let's go ahead and exploit it and get ourselves a shell. All right. Now we gained access. We are the www-data user. And we can go ahead and take a look around here. We are in the ONA www directory. I like to find keywords like pass, PASSWD, and things of that sort. One thing we need to do is make sure we look at the password file just so we can get a list of users. So we have Joanna, we have Jimmy, so MySQL on here, and root. So we can go ahead and open this up for a minute and just throw these in here. All right. Okay, so what I like to do is maybe go through all of these things that I have access to, these files that I have access to in this directory, and see if there's anything interesting in here. So I can run a grep command, recursive and ignoring case, and I'll just throw that in here. Might return a whole bunch of information, which it looks like it did. And we can look through here to see if there's anything interesting, or we can go through each file. Sometimes that can be painstaking. So right now I'm not seeing any actual password fields or any actual passwords based on that search. Just a bunch of variables put in place for these PHP pages. That might be interesting. Or no, that's just the name. All right. So moving on, let's see if we can okay. That's interesting. We did have a SQL database, and this is the password. It looks like this is the password to the SQL database right here. So let's take a look at this file here. Let's see if it's huge. Yeah, okay. So looks like we have some credentials. Maybe we can try that with SSH, but it looks like we'll be able to access the database with this password. Let's see. We can open another shell, and we can try our user Joanna. Joanna at 10.10.10.171. Yes, and N1N J4 W4 RI 0R exclamation point. Failed. Let's to make sure I typed it right. Failed again. Okay, let's try with Jimmy. And J4, W4, RI0, R exclamation point. Looks like we have secure shell access to Jimmy. Let's close out this terminal. All right. So we are now user Jimmy. That's interesting. We are a member of an internal group. Let's see. Find group internal. Normal. Let's see what we find here. Okay, it looks like it's a website. Do we have access to that? It never, did we ever pick that up? I guess not. No. Main logout index. Main. And we already did index, but okay. So nothing there. Let's take a look at. Let's take a look at. Let's take a look at the Apache server settings. The available, or sorry, what is it called? The enabled sites. There we go. Sites enabled. Okay, we have this is listening on this port here. Yep. Okay. So this is an internal site. Let's take a look at the site. Index, styling, there's the body, post username equals Jimmy, hash SHA512 posts. So this looks like a hash value. So we can, that's 512. What we can do is I'm gonna log into my personal server and attempt to crack this with Hashcat. As you can see, I've already done this, but for the purpose of this video, I'd like to do it again. Okay, so basically the 1700 is the type of hash file, or the type of hash that we're going to try to crack. 4 is the highest workload, basically telling my GPU to use all of its resources. A is basically the mode of the attack. So 0 would be a straight attack, while like 3 would be brute force. So we're going to use straight attack. And start it. And so while that's running, we will need to use chisel to gain access to this internal web server. Basically creating a tunnel. And let's see, here we go. Releases. We need to make sure, grab the right one. AMD 64. Okay. So notice if I have a lot of workspaces, I have a habit of messing up workspaces with a bunch of open programs. Okay, I'm going to copy chisel here, and we're going to send this to Jimmy's account here. See if I can make my life a little easier by doing this. Awesome. Okay. Plus X. Alright, so make this executable. Make this a server. And we'll listen on port 622.33. And reverse. I think this is the right commands. Oh, wow. Well, first you have to unzip this. Okay. Now we can run that command. Alright. So now we're listening on my web server here on this port, listening for a connection. And what I'm going to do here, have Jimmy open here. Need to make sure I remember the port that this is open on. This is the port right here. Okay, so is this executable? Okay, so this chisel will be the client. We're connecting to the attacker machine on port 62233, and we are reversing this port and we're sending it, let's just do 8003. I think this is the command. Let me see. So make sure this is right. On my local machine, so this is where chisel is running. I do not see. Might have done this incorrectly. Hold on. Definitely did that incorrect. I can see the error right now. I didn't put a dot between that 0 and that 1. Let's see. Nope. That was incorrect too. Let's try a higher port number. Let me see here for a second. Oh, okay. I think I see. All right. I would like this to be 8004 and okay, and then this needs to be 52846 over on this side. I think this is correct. Yes. Yeah, 8004. And we can verify that. 7001 8004 index.php. Okay, so to explain this one, this is the attacker. This is the port that you set this up to listen on. We're reversing the connection. We want 8004 on the local, on our local machine to connect to this internal port of 52,846 on the remote. And so that is how we're able to gain access to here. If I remember this page, will it let me view this source? If I remember this page, it doesn't show it on here. I believe the username was Jimmy. The password we're cracking. Where are we cracking that? Here we go. Okay. And looks like it cracked it. The password here is revealed. So we'll come back here. Jimmy revealed. And we got access to this private key. So we will copy out this private key here. Let's go ahead and once again, another workspace. RSA. Just do that. Okay. Let's see if we can. Oh, first we need to change the permissions to this. And let's try to use that private key. Which requires passphrase. We can try the Ninja Warrior. That doesn't work. Alright, so with that, I think we can use SSH to John. Okay. Let's see if we can send this to our hashcat machine and do the same thing. Okay, hashcat. Now what I want to do is see if it can automatically pick up the type of hash it is. So yeah, it was able to find it, but I've cracked this before, so it's in this pot file. This is the hash right here, and this ends up being the password. So with that, we can come here and run this. Put in that password. And now we have access to Joanna's user. Student ID. Joanna is also a member of internal. Do a sudo l. Okay, so this right here allows us to run nano and this file right here as the root user. So since this allows us to run nano as a root user, we can probably escalate our privileges using the GTFO files, or I'm sorry, GTFO website. Let's see. There we go, GTFO bins, there we go. And nano, let's take a look here. So nano, Control R, Control X. Looks like you're able to run a command afterwards, so we can try that. So here we'll do sudo bin nano opt priv. Oh, not nana. Nano. And we successfully ran this as root, so we'll do Control R, Control X, and it gives us a command to execute. So let's try to do a reverse shell. So I will run netcat /lv p 8 62229. Okay, so I'm listening on 62229, and we can do bin bash dev tcp my IP address here, and then the port I'm listening on, which is 62229, and then do our redirects. And it tried to connect. Yep. And here we are. We have root, and as root we can hold on. We can look at the flags. To prove that we have access. Joanna user.text, and that's it. And that's how I was able to hack OpenAdmin from Hack the Box.